Hey everybody, thank you so much for clicking on this video. Today, we're going to talk about food. Specifically, I have some tips for you to avoid overeating. Now, I want to put a very firm pause right here. This is not going to give like skinny talk vibes. This is not a way to help you eat less than your body needs. These are simply some things based on personal experience and working with clients one-on-one. Some ideas of how to navigate food in a world where food is literally made for us to overconsume it. This is about empowering you with some tools in your toolbox to help you navigate the world around you. Because I can already feel people getting upset as I'm filming this. But before we jump into the bulk of it, if this is your first time here, my name is Justina. I am a New York City-based personal trainer and nutrition coach, specifically through Precision Nutrition, which is kind of like the gold standard of nutrition coaching certifications in the industry. I've worked with people one-on-one over the years, specifically to build nutritional habits, and it's been really empowering to help people find their own goals and standards around their own nutrition. So if this sounds like fun to you, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos. And we're going to jump right on into it. Essentially, I'm going to take you through my day of eating. I actually forgot I was supposed to film this, and I already made breakfast. So we're going to sit right here, and with each meal, I am going to give you a tip. All right, I am kind of in a rush. I need to drink this really fast. First tip of the day, you want to make sure you're eating enough protein, fiber, and overall volume. And while I realize this is like the most standard advice I could give, I don't know, y'all, like the basics work. So there's kind of I would be doing you a disservice if I did not discuss this right at the beginning of the video. If you find that you're overeating during the day, meaning you are eating more than your body needs for long-term health benefits, I would highly recommend figuring out a way, whether it's tracking the actual grams or using something more like the hand method that Precision Nutrition recommends. And I would figure out how much protein, how much fiber, and overall, what is the volume of your meals. Let's start with protein. Protein has a ton of different benefits, but we're going to stick with just one specifically for the purpose of this video, and that is it keeps you satiated, meaning it's going to keep you full longer. So obviously, this is a great way to help yourself from overeating. The reason why it's going to keep you more satiated is because it does actually take longer to break down in your system. So essentially, it's going to sit in your gut a lot longer. And how much to eat is going to differ person to person. I have a number of videos that kind of breaks down how you can calculate the amount of protein that you specifically need. The current RDA, meaning recommended daily allowance, which is literally just there to prevent deficiency, is 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight. For most people, that's very little. I would actually recommend, and I'm going to go into pounds because I'm American and I don't know why we're not on the metric system here, but for most people, I would say start looking at around like 0.75 to 0.8 grams per pound of body weight. I know you hear a lot of people say like a gram per pound. I think that's a little high for a lot of the people that I've worked with. You also hear like a gram per pound of lean body mass, but a lot of people don't know how much, their body has of lean mass. So I don't know. I just think it's easier to start with like 0.75 to 0.8 grams per pound of body weight and go from there. Now, this number is going to differ person to person, not just because everybody weighs a different amount, but everyone's gut is a little bit different and a little more sensitive, a little bit more nuanced. Some people do really well with higher proteins. Some people do well with more moderate to low. And a lot of this has to do with the fact that protein takes a lot longer to digest. So if you're eating a ton of protein, maybe a little bit more than your body's comfortable with, you might feel like there's like a rock sitting in your stomach. And that might inhibit you during the day in terms of what you need to get done. So I think the best approach here is to play around and find the best range of protein that feels the best to you. So let's take an example really quickly so I can show you how I would work with somebody to actually get their protein up a little bit if you find that you're not eating enough. I would start by taking a week, tracking the amount of protein that you eat, and you want to average that entire week. And let's say you take that week and your average is 70 grams a day. Amazing. Let's see if the next week we can hit 80 grams a day. So over 7 days, all you have to do is average 10 more grams of protein. And I think looking at this, like zooming out and looking at the average is a lot more helpful than thinking of every single day needing to be perfect, because it just makes it a lot more achievable for people. Then once you can consistently hit that 80 grams of protein on average a day, maybe you bump it up to 90. Then once you're consistent there, maybe you bump it up to 100. Then maybe that's your goal and you've hit it, right? So that's how I would ease yourself in, kind of adding a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. That's also going to give you a better idea in terms of body feedback on where kind of your comfortable upper limit is. Now, let's move into fiber. And for the purpose of this video, again, we're going to look at fiber under the lens of like, it's a lot more satiating. Fiber is a carbohydrate technically, and you're going to find fiber in, things like fruits and and vegetables, whole grains, things like that. I believe the current recommendation, this is close enough. Probably should have looked this up, but it's about 25 grams a day for women, 35 grams a day for men. I know there's like technically a range in there, but that's close enough for the purpose of right now. And in terms of increasing your fiber, I would approach this the exact same way. Start small, add a little bit here and there. And again, this is going to keep you more satiated longer, so you reduce your chances of overeating during the day. And then finally, the last point we talked about is volume. So when I think of like a high volume meal, I'm thinking of something that's like a big ass salad, because most of that meal is going to be pretty low energy foods, typically things like vegetables. Like, what are you having as your salad base? It's typically going to be lettuce. Lettuce is typically very low calorie, but high density. So like, let's compare that. Let's say you're having a big ass salad for lunch that's very balanced. It's got your vegetables, it's got your protein, you have a adequate serving of carb in there, the dressing is your fat. Beautiful. That's a lot of like volume of food. So not only if you're building it out really balanced, is it going to keep you satiated because of the protein and the fiber in there, but it's also going to keep you satiated because it's quite literally physically going to fill up your stomach. On the flip side, let's say you go through the McDonald's drive-thru and you get a quarter pounder. It's probably calorically going to be pretty equal to the salad, but in terms of volume, it's much, much smaller. It's also, and this is a topic for a different video, it's obviously designed in a way to want you keep you coming back for more. We got there. So I think between those 3 tips, which are basic, but it doesn't mean that they're basic to implement, I think those are 3 things that are really, really helpful to just help increase your chances of eating within your means for your health. If you want a video breaking down or like expanding on how to really implement any 3 of those, please let me know down in the comments, and we'll put it on the schedule for a future video. It's lunchtime. Ready for this? I actually am. I'm fucking starving. Okay. You're also really low. Hold on. The vibes are weird because I'm so hungry, which I'm realizing leads really well into my next point, which is that you don't want to save your calories for the end of the day. Okay. We're gonna multitask. All right, so I made a video at the beginning of the year where I tracked my calories for a week or 2 because I wasn't really sure if I was taking in the right amount of energy during the day, because I noticed that I was like really hungry at night and overeating, and I realized I was not eating enough during the day. That's not why I'm so hungry right now. Lunch had to be pushed back because I had clients, and I'm just eating later than I should have. Anyway, so I actually end up seeing this a lot with people. They're like, I need to be in a deficit, so I need to eat as little as I can. And I really want my sweet treat at the end of the night, so I'm gonna save up my calories for it. A lot of times what starts happening is people are then restricting so much during the day that they end up binging at night. So I've actually found that if you can just take your amount of calories, spread them out a little bit more evenly throughout the day, you're not gonna be starved by the end of the day and then just be like binging on whatever you can find. What I would recommend instead, like if you are someone who likes a little like treat at the end of the day, whether it's like a sweet treat or whether it's more savory, I would say just like portion that out appropriately and make sure that you're saving just that amount of energy for it. So like, for instance, we're gonna talk about this in the last point, but I'm a sweet girl. I love having a sweet treat. So sometimes I will get these like individually wrapped ice cream sandwiches or ice cream bars, and I know that those are X number of calories individually wrapped. So I mean, I don't track anymore, but I just kind of like know eyeball wise, like what's enough for me during the day and like paying attention to my hunger cues. But anyway, if you are tracking, just like leave that amount of calories for the end of the day. So like for me, it was usually like 150 calories, which really isn't that much in the grand scheme of things. So like, just, know that it's coming. Did I hit all my points? I think so. Yeah, so like moral of the story, just don't eat as little as possible during the day. Like don't eat like 200 calorie meals all day. Just save up for whatever you want at the end of the day, like your cheat food or your bad food or whatever, because you're gonna overeat it. And you're also just not gonna feel good. Like, obviously, I'm talking about like overeating, and I'm sure a lot of people are clicking on this video from the sense of like, they're trying to lose weight or lose fat or whatever. But also this is just like health advice. Like if you're eating that little during the day, like your digestion's gonna be terrible. Your energy's gonna be terrible. You're probably not getting in the nutrients that you need to support your long-term health. So like, yeah. I'm so hungry. All right, making our lunch. This is chicken thighs that I literally just put in the crock pot last night just to like shred it up. Pro tip for days that are busy. Instead of making like a bunch of chicken salad, because also then I feel like it gets soggy, I have been buying the Greek yogurt tzatziki from Aldi, and I'll just Mix that in, and it's very low effort. And because it has Greek yogurt, or the base is Greek yogurt, it's a little lower fat. Fat's not bad, but I think I talked about this in a recent video. My cholesterol was like a little bit too high from my blood work. So I'm just watching my fat intake, and also higher protein to keep me more satiated. So we're gonna make this Sammy. Also, not that did I buy sweet treats this? No, not that I have my ice cream Sammies this week, but that's obviously going to be a higher fat item. So it's kind of just about like looking at your day and like, okay, am I going to have a lot of fat later in the day? So let's pull that back. But that's like more specific to me. Like if I was having salmon tonight, I would definitely make sure to modify my fat intake during the day. And then ultimate hack, because I always like having something crunchy and more fiber, bell peppers. They replace chips. Someone's gonna say, that's disorder, just have the chips. Bitch, I got popcorn ready to go as my nighttime snack tonight. I'm having the chips. Popcorn, it's just happening later. But also this is just a great way to like get in some more fiber and have something that's like that crunchy texture. But also if I'm done this meal and I'm still hungry and I'm like, well, I really want chips. Well, the fucking chips. I feel like I'm just like preemptively getting ahead of the comments that are gonna hate this video, but I think it's gonna be helpful. Cheers. Best PJs ever. All right, I'm gonna show you what I'm eating. Tortellini with chicken sausage and peas, and then a ton of cheese on top. And then I'm gonna eat this because I don't wanna eat and talk at the same time, and I wanna enjoy my dinner. And then we're gonna talk about the last tip. So fast forward now. We're down here now. I'll bring you closer. If you're wondering why this door is different, oh my God. There must be new laws in New York City or something around lead paint because we had construction in our unit because there was lead paint in it. So anything with lead paint had to be brand new. So we have new doors, new moldings. This is getting fixed tomorrow. It's a lot. We've been breathing sawdust for a week. It's fine. Let's talk about the third tip. My third tip is actually to not have trigger foods in the house. So to give an example, I actually already kind of talked about this earlier. My trigger food, I have the craziest sweet tooth. The cat has the zoomies. To the point where like, let's say someone gave us like a cake or a bunch of brownies, that would be gone. I have a very hard time regulating myself around sweet things, and I always have since I was a kid. And so there's two different things that have worked for me. Number one, I know that I was talking earlier about like sometimes I'll have like little ice cream sandwiches that are individually wrapped in the freezer. Honestly, the individually wrapped things works great for me because on the flip side, I know that if I had like a pint or like a tub of ice cream, I would definitely eat more than I need. But the other tip that I have, which I know other people are going to say is controversial, but I want you to like hear the whole thing. Maybe you just don't keep those things in the house. So for instance, a lot of times, like I said, I checked earlier in the freezer, I didn't buy that stuff this week, but let's say it's the end of the night tonight and today was a really long day. And let's say I'm about to go edit my class that I just taught. Let's say I'm done editing that class and I'm like, God, I am really craving something sweet. I will take 10 minutes and I will sit here and I will go, okay, do you really want that sweet thing? Because here's what you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to get dressed out of these crazy pajamas. You're gonna have to go to the bodega down the street and you're gonna have to go buy the ice cream and then come back. Is that actually worth it? And sometimes it's definitely not. Like tonight, I'm like, there's no way I'm getting changed again. There's no way I'm leaving this house again. Other times, it's worth it and I will get changed and I will put in the extra effort. Zoe has her summer cut and she's licking my dinner, whatever. So for me, obviously I know that's like a very New York City specific thing. Obviously like the barrier could be you have to get in your car and go drive somewhere to go get something. But like having that literal blockade in my way of going, do I actually want this thing, and giving myself a chance to just let my brain catch up with my body works for me. Again, I know there's gonna be people who say that that's disordered or that's not a good tactic or that's like messed up. I'm sorry, I keep watching the cat eating my food. There's nothing in it. She's just licking the bowl. Get back on track, Justina. But yeah, I don't know. I think that is something that works for me and I've pitched that to a lot of clients and that has worked for them. I think that everybody is different and in no way, shape or form am I saying you can't have the ice cream and you can't keep it in the house. I'm saying, can you put hurdles in your way to give yourself a second to figure out if it's something you actually want in the moment? Another option could be like we have these really, really high cabinets that I like cannot reach. Like I would have to get a step stool and then climb on top of the countertop to get in there. So maybe it's like, okay, if you have Oreos, maybe you put them all the way up there. So it's a literal physical boundary. I'm kind of just spitballing at this point, but you get the idea. The idea isn't to say, no, you can't have that. Don't keep it in the house. The idea is, hey, can we give ourselves a barrier to just take a moment and go, is this what I really want and need right now? And that's it. Jesus, girl. Just fucking head deep in there. Maybe we shouldn't be eating this. She does look funny. She looks like a rat right now. In another week, it's gonna look a lot better. All right, so that's the video. Hopefully this was helpful and you just found a few little like nuggets of information that you can try out and potentially throw in your toolbox. Again, the point of this video is not to help you restrict. The point of this video is to help you find tools and tactics and ways to build the healthiest habits around nutrition possible. So everybody go in the comments and tell Zoe, pss, 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 pss. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one.